So you're shopping for a compact SUV and you want one that actually holds up, not just on a test drive, but 3, 5, 10 years from now. This ranking is built on real reliability data, long-term ownership costs, and what actually happens after the warranty expires. A couple of the SUVs on this list didn't land where you'd expect, and the number one pick might genuinely change how you're thinking about this. Let's get into it. Number 10. The Chevrolet Equinox. Most people shopping the Equinox are focused on the sticker price, and that's exactly where Chevy wants your attention. What doesn't make the brochure? This generation's turbocharged engines have a documented history of oil consumption issues, and GM's repair data shows electrical problems tend to surface around the same time the warranty runs out, which is not a coincidence you want to be on the wrong side of. The Equinox EV got a lot of buzz, but it's still too early to know how it ages, and wait and see is a bad position when you're the one waiting with the repair bill. Resale tells the real story here. The Equinox depreciates faster than most of its Japanese competitors, which means buyers who stretch to afford one new often feel it again when they go to sell. The next vehicle on this list doesn't have that problem. Number 9. The Volkswagen Tiguan. The Tiguan's interior genuinely earns its praise. It feels more expensive than it costs, and that premium feel pulls in buyers who want something that doesn't look like everyone else's compact SUV. Fair enough. But here's what experienced Tiguan owners will tell you. The DSG dual-clutch transmission is the variable that determines whether you love this truck or resent it. When it's right, it's seamless. When it develops issues, and enough of them do, a single out-of-warranty transmission service can run close to what you'd spend on 2 or 3 years of routine maintenance on a Toyota. VW parts and labor don't price like Japanese competitors. That's not a rumor. It shows up consistently in long-term cost of ownership data. The Tiguan makes more sense as a lease than a long-term purchase, and the people who've owned both tend to say so. Number 8. The Nissan Rogue. The current Rogue is legitimately better than the reputation it's still being judged by. Quieter, more refined, genuinely improved fuel economy. Nissan did real work on this generation. The problem is what happened before. Nissan's CVT transmission failures across the Rogue, Altima, and Sentra became so widespread that Nissan settled a class action lawsuit and extended warranties specifically because of it. That's not forum speculation, it's public record. The current generation has improved, but when a transmission problem becomes a federal legal matter, the used car market remembers. Rogue resale values still reflect that history, and lenders price it into financing too. You can buy a better Rogue today than you could 5 years ago. You're just still paying for what happened 5 years ago. Number 7. The Mitsubishi Outlander. The Outlander doesn't get talked about enough, and that's partly Mitsubishi's own fault for not marketing it better. But here's the ownership reality most buyers miss. Every single Outlander comes with standard all-wheel drive, not an option, not a package. Every trim, every configuration, standard. In a segment where AWD upgrades routinely cost $1,400 to $1,500, you're effectively getting that money back before you even negotiate. Reliability on the reworked platform has been solid. The real limitations are dealer network depth. Mitsubishi has roughly half the U.S. service locations of Toyota, and resale values that trail most of the segment. You get a reliable truck with a genuine ownership advantage built in. You just don't get the infrastructure or the exit value that the top half of this list delivers. Number 6. The Kia Sportage. A lot of buyers still mentally categorize the Sportage as the value pick, the one you choose when the Honda or Toyota feels out of reach. That framing is about 5 years out of date. The current Sportage is a genuinely competitive vehicle, and the feature-to-price ratio is hard to beat anywhere in this class. The pre-2020 engine issues were real and well documented. The current 2.5-liter engine family is a meaningful step forward, and early data support that. But here's the thing about Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty that most buyers don't fully process. It's not transferable to a second owner. If you buy a used Sportage that's 2 or 3 years old, you're getting the 5-year warranty that Kia offers second owners, not the full 10. That distinction matters if you're cross-shopping new versus certified pre-owned. One current note: there's an active NHTSA recall on 2026 Sportages for a braking system component. Pull the VIN before you sign anything. It's being resolved under warranty, but confirm it's been completed. Number 5. The Hyundai Tucson. The Tucson and Sportage share a platform, and buyers often treat them as the same decision wearing different badges. There's actually a meaningful gap when you look at the ownership data. The Tucson has been in its current generation longer, and more production time means more sorted-out engineering. Average annual repair cost sits around $426, nearly $100 below the segment average, and the probability of a severe repair is lower than the class norm. Here's the detail that stands out. Tucson's most commonly reported complaints are infotainment glitches and software issues. That's worth noting, not because it's alarming, but because it's the opposite of alarming. When the worst thing owners are reporting is a screen that occasionally needs a reset that tells you the mechanical side is holding up. Infotainment bugs get patched. Engine problems don't. The caveat is high mileage. The Tucson is strong through 100,000 miles. What happens after that is still being written. The 4 vehicles above it have already answered that question. Number 4. The Subaru Forester. Consumer Reports gave the Forester Hybrid the top overall score for compact SUVs in 2026. Owner satisfaction is among the highest in the segment. And loyalty data is striking. Subaru consistently ranks near the top for repeat buyers, meaning people who own one tend to come back for another. In reliability terms, that's the most honest signal there is. The thing buyers most often don't see coming is maintenance cost. The Forester's Boxer engine is reliable, horizontally opposed pistons running long and flat, but the layout makes routine work more labor-intensive than a conventional engine. Spark plugs, for instance, take significantly longer to replace on a Boxer than on a standard inline-4. That shows up in your service bills. Average annual maintenance on a Forester runs closer to $630, which is well above the Honda and Toyota equivalents. You're not paying for breakdowns, you're paying for access. 3 vehicles outrank it. The question is why. Before we get there, what's your pick so far? Drop it in the comments. Curious whether the CX-5 is starting to pull anyone away from the obvious choices. Number 3. The Honda CR-V. The CR-V's high-mileage reputation is real. Owners regularly hit 150,000 and 200,000 miles without major powertrain intervention. RepairPal ranks it second out of 26 compact SUVs for overall reliability, and the average annual repair cost of around $407 is one of the lowest in the class. That track record is legitimate, and it's earned. What a lot of buyers don't know is that the non-hybrid 1.5-liter turbocharged engine has a documented history of oil dilution. In cold climates with short daily commutes, unburned fuel seeps past the piston rings and thins the oil. Honda extended warranties on it. There was a class action lawsuit covering 2019 through 2023 models. The current generation has improved, but it's the same core engine architecture. If your winters are cold and your commute is under 10 miles, that's not a minor footnote, it's a real consideration. The CR-V hybrid uses a naturally aspirated 2.0-liter engine and sidesteps the issue entirely. Within Honda's lineup, that's the cleaner long-term choice. Owner satisfaction scores for the CR-V trail the 2 vehicles above it by a notable margin in Consumer Reports data. Satisfaction captures something reliability scores don't: whether the ownership experience matches what you expected. The gap there is real, and it points toward why 2 vehicles still rank higher. Number 2. The Mazda CX-5. The CX-5 sits at number 2, and the single most important thing to understand about it is also the least exciting to say out loud. It doesn't have a turbo, doesn't have a CVT, and doesn't have a complex hybrid system. Naturally aspirated engine. Conventional 6-speed automatic. The powertrain in the CX-5 is almost deliberately simple, and that simplicity is exactly why AutoGuide gave it a top-tier S rating in their 2026 reliability rankings. Complexity is where modern vehicles break down. Mazda largely refused to add it. What makes the CX-5 genuinely surprising is the interior. Mazda builds a cabin that outclasses most competitors at this price point on materials, fit, and finish, and then doesn't charge you a premium brand price for it. Owners who cross-shop the CX-5 against Volkswagen's Tiguan often end up choosing the Mazda because it feels just as refined for several $1,000s less, with a far more predictable ownership cost. The honest trade-off: cargo space is tight compared to the RAV4 and CR-V, and Mazda's dealer network is limited enough that it's worth checking coverage in your area before committing. But if the data says any vehicle on this list is undervalued relative to what it actually delivers, it's the CX-5. One vehicle still outranks it, and it's not close. Number 1. The Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Here's the thing about the RAV4 Hybrid that most rankings don't emphasize enough. It's not just reliable for a compact SUV. It's reliable by any standard, in any vehicle class, at any price. The 2.5-liter hybrid system in the current RAV4 also runs the Camry Hybrid, the Venza, and several Lexus models. Toyota has produced this powertrain at an enormous global scale, and the failure rate data that comes back from that volume is what allows Toyota to offer a 10-year, 150,000-mile hybrid battery warranty. Automakers don't write warranties that generous, unless the numbers tell them they can afford it. For 2026, Toyota made the RAV4 Hybrid only. The gas engine is gone, and it's a redesigned model. Consumer Reports recommends patience with first-year redesigns, and that caution is fair in general. But the specific risk with a first-year model is usually an unproven powertrain. The RAV4 Hybrid's powertrain isn't unproven. It's one of the most proven hybrid systems on the market. The redesign updated the body, the interior, and the infotainment, not the thing that determines whether you're calling a tow truck at 110,000 miles. Owners who drive RAV4 hybrids to 200,000 miles are not exceptional cases. They're a pattern that repeats across enough vehicles to be statistically meaningful. Resale value reflects it, repair frequency reflects it, and satisfaction scores reflect it. That's why it's number 1, not because of the badge, but because the data, at scale, over time, keeps pointing in the same direction. Here's what the full ranking really tells you. The vehicles that age best are the ones built around simple, proven powertrains by manufacturers who have been doing this long enough to eliminate the variables that cause problems. You feel that decision every year you own it, in what you're not paying, in what you're not dealing with, and in what you get back when you sell. The RAV4 Hybrid wins because it keeps winning. The CX-5 is the pick for anyone who wants that same reliability philosophy, with a more engaging driving experience and a lower sticker price. And if you're working with a tighter budget, the Tucson and Forester both offer genuine long-term confidence without the compromises that come with the lower half of this list. Which one would be your pick? Drop it in the comments, and if you're genuinely torn between the CX-5 and the RAV4, say that too. That's the most interesting debate in this segment right now. If you enjoy straightforward rankings that help you choose the right vehicle and avoid expensive mistakes, you'll probably enjoy the next one as well.